NEC Section 680.26 Bone addresses the grounding electrode system requirements near swimming pool equipment. This section necessitates the installation of a grounding electrode system in the vicinity of the swimming pool equipment. This system can incorporate a ground rod driven near the motor and heater equipment pad. The bond leads originating from the pool equipment should be interconnected with the grounding electrode. This interconnection establishes a low-resistance pathway that facilitates the flow of fault currents towards the grounding system. The grounding system's presence serves to safeguard individuals in and around the pool from potential electrical hazards by providing a safe path for fault currents. Now let's discuss disconnects for subpanels. NEC Section 680.12 stipulates that all utilization equipment must have a disconnecting mechanism. In cases involving a subpanel with main lugs only, the subpanel itself lacks a dedicated disconnect switch. However, each branch circuit within the subpanel should be equipped with its own individual breaker. These breakers are designed to function as the disconnecting means for the respective utilization equipment they serve. Consequently, it is accurate to assume that no additional disconnect is mandated for the subpanel itself. The breakers integrated within the panel effectively fulfill the necessary disconnecting means for the connected utilization equipment. Therefore, the breakers within the subpool serve as the required disconnecting means for the pool's electrical equipment, fulfilling the code requirements without needing a separate main disconnect for the subpool itself. This approach ensures that each piece of equipment can be individually de-energized for maintenance or in case of a fault. It is important to ensure that the breakers are readily accessible and clearly labeled to indicate which equipment they control. The grounding electrode system needs to be comprehensive. It includes the perimeter bonding grid, metal parts of the pool structure, and any metal fittings within or attached to the pool structure. The purpose of this bonding is to create an equipotential plane around the pool, minimizing voltage differences that could cause electric shock. The connection of the bond leads from the pool equipment to the grounding electrode system reinforces this equipotential plane, extending its protection to the equipment pad. When driving a ground rod, ensure it is installed according to NEC specifications. The rod must be at least 8 feet long and driven into the ground so that at least 8 feet of the rod is in contact with the soil. The connection between the bond leads and the ground rod must be made with listed connectors suitable for direct burial. The size of the grounding electrode conductor connecting the equipment to the ground rod must be in accordance with NEC Table 250.66, but it generally does not need to be larger than number 6 AWG copper wire for this application. Proper installation of the ground rod and connection to the bonding grid are critical for ensuring the safety of the pool. In the context of disconnects, it is crucial to understand the difference between a disconnecting means and an overcurrent protection device. A disconnecting means is a switch or breaker that can de-energize the equipment for maintenance or repair. An overcurrent protection device, such as a breaker or fuse, protects the equipment and wiring from overloads and short circuits. In the case of the subpanel, the breakers serve both as overcurrent protection devices and disconnecting means. Each breaker protects its respective branch circuit from overcurrents and can be used to de-energize the equipment connected to that circuit. The NEC requires that the disconnecting means be readily accessible. This means that it must be located so that it can be easily reached without having to climb over obstacles or move equipment. The disconnecting means must also be clearly labeled to indicate which equipment it controls. This ensures that anyone working on the equipment can quickly and easily de-energize it. The requirement for a disconnecting means for each piece of utilization equipment is intended to provide a safe way to de-energize the equipment for maintenance or in case of a fault. This is especially important for pool equipment, as water and electricity can be a dangerous combination. By providing a readily accessible disconnecting means, the risk of electric shock is greatly reduced. In summary, NEC Article 680 provides comprehensive requirements for the electrical safety of swimming pools. These requirements cover bonding, grounding, and disconnecting means. By following these requirements, you can ensure that the pool is safe for use and that the risk of electric shock is minimized. Remember to consult the latest edition of the NEC and local codes for specific requirements in your area. Also, engage a qualified electrician for any electrical work related to your pool to ensure compliance and safety. Firstly, review NEC Article 680 in its entirety to gain a comprehensive understanding of the electrical requirements for swimming pools. Secondly, ensure that all bonding and grounding connections are made with listed connectors suitable for direct burial. Thirdly, verify that the ground rod is installed according to NEC specifications, with at least 8 feet of the rod in contact with the soil. Fourthly, confirm that the breakers in the subpanel are readily accessible and clearly labeled to indicate which equipment they control. Fifthly, ensure that the size of the grounding electrode conductor is in accordance with NEC Table 250.66. Sixthly, engage a qualified electrician to inspect the installation and ensure compliance with all applicable codes and regulations. Seventhly, maintain records of all electrical work performed in the pool, including permits, inspections, and test results. Eighthly, periodically inspect the bonding and grounding connections to ensure they are in good condition and free from corrosion. Ninthly, educate pool users about the importance of electrical safety and the location of disconnecting means. Tenthly, always de-energize equipment before performing any maintenance or repairs. The function of the grounding electrode system is to provide a low impedance path for fault current to return to the source. This low impedance path ensures that the overcurrent protective device, such as a circuit breaker, will trip quickly, clearing the fault and preventing a dangerous voltage from being present on conductive surfaces near the pool. The grounding electrode system is not intended to carry normal operating current. It is only intended to carry fault current in the event of an electrical fault. The size of the grounding electrode conductor is determined by NEC Table 250.66 and is based on the size of the ungrounded conductor supplying the equipment. The grounding electrode conductor must be sized large enough to safely carry the available fault current. The disconnecting means must be readily accessible, meaning it must be located within sight of the equipment it serves or be capable of being locked in the open position. This ensures that the equipment can be quickly and easily de-energized in the event of an emergency. The disconnecting means must also be clearly labeled to indicate which equipment it controls. This prevents confusion and ensures that the correct equipment is de-energized. The NEC also requires that all metal parts of the pool structure, including the reinforcing steel, be bonded together to form an equipotential plane. This equipotential plane helps to minimize voltage differences in the pool area, reducing the risk of electric shock. The bonding connections must be made with listed connectors suitable for direct burial. The bonding conductors must be sized in accordance with NEC Table 250.122 and must be copper. The NEC also requires that all metal equipment associated with the pool, such as the pump motor, filter, and heater, be bonded to the equipotential plane. This ensures that all metal parts in the pool area are at the same potential, further reducing the risk of electric shock. The bonding connections must be made with listed connectors suitable for direct burial. The bonding conductors must be sized in accordance with NEC Table 250.122 and must be copper. In addition to the bonding and grounding requirements, the NEC also has requirements for the wiring methods used in the pool area. All wiring must be installed in conduit or be direct burial cable. The wiring must be rated for wet locations and must be protected from physical damage. The NEC also has requirements for the location of receptacles in the pool area. Receptacles must be located at least 6 feet from the inside wall of the pool and must be protected by a ground fault circuit interrupter, or GFCI. This helps to prevent electric shock if someone accidentally drops an electrical appliance into the pool. It is important to note that the NEC is a minimum standard. Local codes may have additional requirements. It is always best to consult with a qualified electrician to ensure that your pool is installed in accordance with all applicable codes and regulations. Understanding the principles behind these requirements is just as important as knowing the specific rules. The goal is always to create a safe environment for pool users. The bonding and grounding requirements are designed to minimize the risk of electric shock by creating an equipotential plane and providing a low impedance path for fault current to return to the source. The disconnecting means requirements are designed to provide a safe way to de-energize the equipment for maintenance or in the event of an emergency. By following these requirements and consulting with a qualified electrician, you can ensure that your pool is safe for use. One aspect not explicitly mentioned but crucial for safety is regular inspection. Periodically inspect the entire electrical system around the pool, including the bonding connections, grounding electrode conductor, and disconnecting means. Look for signs of corrosion, damage, or loose connections. Any issues discovered should be addressed immediately by a qualified electrician. Another important consideration is the use of gram fault circuit interrupters, or GFCIs. GFCIs are designed to protect people from electric shock by detecting small imbalances in the electrical current and quickly shutting off the power. The NEC requires GFCIs to be installed in certain locations around the pool, such as for receptacles and underwater lighting. However, it is a good practice to use GFCIs for all electrical circuits serving the pool equipment. This provides an extra layer of protection against electric shock. In addition to the NEC requirements, there may be local codes and regulations that apply to swimming pool electrical installations. It is important to check with your local building department to determine what these requirements are. Local codes may be more stringent than the NEC and may have additional requirements. It is also important to keep accurate records of all electrical work performed on the pool. This includes permits, inspections, and test results. These records can be helpful in the future if there are any questions or concerns about the electrical system. Finally, it is important to remember that electricity and water can be a dangerous combination. Always exercise caution when working with electrical equipment around the pool. If you are not comfortable working with electricity, it is best to hire a qualified electrician to do the work for you.